Good afternoon. It's so nice to see all these many people smiling at me. It's a great honor, great privilege for me to be able to share my views, my little experience to this August gathering. And thank you, Compassionate Interfaith Group, Secretary General Schuyler, and Professor Catherine, organizing all these beautiful programs and working so hard for many days. And finally, I'm here and to enjoy this many smiling faces. Thank you. And I hope my words can give some sense in some ways to all of you. And while I go on speaking, I would highly recommend to put down your questions. I'll try to keep my talk short so that I can interact. Any questions? Actually, real communication is when questions are raised, then we try to meet with the questions so that we feel the message goes across. We learn something back and forth that I can learn from you. You may, some of you may learn a few things from me. It's because it's a different perspective from a Buddhist point of view. Thank you. It's I think, a very precious tradition that we Buddhists have is that no matter what you do, to begin with, you remember your precious Guru, spiritual teacher, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, all the great beings, and pay a homage, a respect, and then you begin. Similarly, whenever you have food, eating, drinking, first of all, you make an offering to your Guru, to your Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all those great beings. In other words, here in the West, you may say angels, whatsoever, those great beings who have been kind to the living beings. We make an offering to them first before eating or drinking. We make an offering, first we purify the food or drink whatever is available in front of you. Purify that, and then make an offering to the great beings, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and then you take it. When you enjoy it, you take it as a blessing from them. And oftentimes, when one is sick, you take it as a medicine. So this is another way of healing. So normally like talk or teaching or whatsoever, before talking to the audience, you say a prayer, remember your gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and their gratitudes. So, diversity or diversity? I'm confused. Which is better? Diversity. Here in America, some people say like Tibet to us, and some say Tibet. So I don't know which is the right one. So diversity and diversity, I don't know which one's the right thing. And then diversity and interfaith is the topic that we are discussing this afternoon. When you say diversity, mean to me, as you say diversity, the word, I think means how to honor the diversity. That's the key question, I believe. As a Buddhist, Buddhist understanding is that no matter where you are born in this lifetime, which culture, which religion, which race, what color, doesn't matter. All, not only just the human beings, all sentient beings who has feeling, who has a feeling of happiness, sorrow, pain, suffering, who has or who can feel those joy and suffering things are equal to one and all, deserving peace and happiness. I'm a Tibetan in this lifetime. This does not mean I have been Tibetan all the time. I might have been American sometimes in my previous lifetime. I might have been in the miserable realms, like in the insects and the animals and so on. I might have been born into God realms, up in the angels. So therefore, our birth that we take, we have no control over it. We are thrown into this by our karmic force, our previous karmic force. We are born from nowhere. We don't know who we are. We have not chosen. We did not choose where we take birth. We're just born. Similarly, we do not know where next. And we do not know how long our life is. Some live over 100 years. Some live 1-2 years. Some even died within the womb without even seeing this world. So, all these things take place according to their previous action, previous karma. Similarly, some are born into white community, some are born into black community, some are born into brown community, some are born into animal realms, some are in insects, and so on. They are all to do with our previous karma. Now, okay, as I said earlier, whatever I'm saying, I am totally responsible for my words, and I will prove my words logically, scientifically. So you can be ready for your questions. So, from all these reasons, it gives us enough reason how is it important to honor, respect the diversity. In other words, that as I said earlier, each and every sentient being, living being, has same feeling, deserve same peace and happiness. Let's say us human beings, let's say those poor animals, everyone deserves the same peace and happiness. And then, on the other hand, we as a human being, we have created so many distinctions within ourselves by color, by geographic boundaries, by faith, by traditions, and so on. But the truth is, everyone deserves same peace and happiness, like myself, everybody. So therefore, it is enough reason how it is important to respect and honor others' feeling and desires. At the same time, again, when we talk about rebirth, we in Buddhist scriptures, we have many logical proofs, arguments to prove how the reincarnation system works. But nowadays, thanks to the high tech, we do not need those hard work, because everything is before us. Last year, when I was here, I saw in American television, in a Fox News channel. I bet every one of you have seen that. An American boy, remembering his previous life, saying that he was an air marshal in Second World War in Japan. His aircraft crashed and he died in the ocean. He told this story. And as the story came out, people actually investigate and went all the way to the place where the aircraft was crashed. And every bit of the story the boy was telling came true. That was I'm saying here because that's something coming from this soil, this culture. There are many more. Back in India, every now and then there are news come through, the people remembering their previous lives. Of course, as a Buddhist, especially in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, we have a system of finding reincarnations. Like His Holiness the Dalai Lama is 14th Dalai Lama, meaning every time one Dalai Lama passes away, we have a special task force who take the responsibility to find out the next reincarnation of the previous one. And there are many ways to actually examine, to find out the real reincarnation. Regardless of that, there are many people, as I said, remembering their previous lives. One of the television program in the National Geographic Channel I have seen many years back, the name of the program was People and Places, which was showing about 26 people who remember their previous lives. And all 26 people were from Middle East. The entire story, the episode, was filmed in Middle East, telling their previous lives, memories, and everything come true. So, now to prove if there is a previous life or the afterlife, you don't need so many of them. Just one is enough. If someone has a previous life, then why not me? If there was a previous life, why not next? This is the logic. There's nothing more than logic to prove the truth. Now, we human beings are so proud of science and technology. Just think of that journey from the Stone Age to this era. What we have produced. It's all about logic and science. Cause and effect. This is there because of this. Test and experiments. Cause and effect, interdependence. Whole thing is all about cause and effect, logic. In other words, I think, I'm not a scientist, but I think a science is a study on atom. Now, I know great many scientists are now working hard to study on the consciousness, on the mind, and I think they are quite close to approach the mind, the nature of the mind, but they are not yet there. So, if we can realize that we all have previous lives, and after this life, if we realize that journey still goes on, this is another proof telling you the importance of honoring diversity. There are great many faiths, religions in this world. All of those were introduced long ago. I see that's a better word. At a time where people born there and died there when they talk about the whole world, means just a little, community around them. Now, because of the science and technology, we say world has become so small. And people are more educated. People, all kind of, people have, come together. Even in a small, like a small community, you will find international people, all kind of people, and religion, color, living together. So therefore, it is very, very important. It has become more important to honor the diversity. Because those days, for example, like the oldest religion, I believe, Hinduism. And then Jainism, Buddhism. In fact, Buddhism is not a religion, but then there are like Christianity, Jewish, Sikh, whatsoever. There are many, many, many more. Okay, those days they are introduced in a certain culture, certain place that was fine, very helpful, very good, helped mankind. Now this time, it is always good to be more open, more accessible, more understanding, more respect to one another. If you keep telling, this is the only way, there's no room for that anymore, because we know that is not the only way. Hinduism, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, let's say all these 4 or 5 religions. Everyone, if say, this is mine is the only way, how can that be? It worked those days, but it won't work anymore. So, now it is good to really apply the wisdom. Try to study on, because man has worked so much on the material but never really put any effort in the spirituality. Man had just kept believing, never asked question, although many religions have not allowed to ask question. Maybe that's because. But I think asking question is a basic human right. And we have the right to know what. Like those questions is very important for me. Why, how, what? Those 3 questions. I think we can apply those 3 questions into spirituality also. And then study, explore more. Through studies, through investigation, whatever you realize in your life, I think that's the biggest truth. So, Buddhism, even Buddha, historical Buddha Shakyamuni, his time, Buddha has said, do not believe on my words just because you have a respect to me. Investigate, examine yourself. If you find meaningful, practice it. Have benefit from it. If you find no sense, no benefit, leave it aside. He said, my words are like gold. If a goldsmith wanted to buy a gold, he will not simply close his eyes and pay a big price for a piece of metal that looks yellow. He will go through all the tests and examinations. Maybe he may cut the piece of the metal, He may rub, he may put in a fire. He will use any ways of examination to make sure that big price he's paying and buying the metal is real gold. Then only he will buy. Similarly, Buddha Shakyamuni says, spiritual practice is the longest thing that is not only for this lifetime, but that is something that we carry on for lifetimes and lifetimes. So this is not a child's play. We need to study. As you learn, experiment, realize, then put into practice, that will change your life. Not just this life, but many lifetimes. In addition to this, we say many lifetimes we have come from. To prove this, for example, we have twins, triples from one family, from one father and one mother. Look at those twins and triples. They come from same father, same mother, same genetic things, but as they grow, their attitudes, their nature are different. Some becomes artist, some become something else, some are peaceful, some are little more short temper, some are different. You will find many differences among triples and twins. Why is that? Anybody has any answer for that? If our life is only to do with the genes, then there should not be different. They are from one womb, one father, one mother, same genetic thing. Why differences are coming? That proves two things. One, there is something what we call consciousness. The consciousness that is very different. That is nothing to do with this physical body. That comes from long way. That will depart and that will depart from this physical body after the death. That goes away. Secondly, it proves that what we call the person or the I has come from long time. All these effects that coming through in your life due to previous lives. In Buddhism we say, even though if you are dying right now, if doctor says you're dying in a moment, try to study, try to learn, because your effort never goes waste. Your effort will put up you in your next life. Next lifetime, you will be more sharper. You will learn things more quickly. You see those things happening. Exactly as I said, from the twins and triples, you will see some are very sharp-minded, learn things very quickly, some are not so. Likewise, in one class, there may be, 10 boys, 10 children. You will see varieties of their sharpness in their mind, the ability to learn things. All these things comes from many lifetimes. So, this is why when we say respect, honor to the diversity, this is much more than just diversity or within humans, but also with sentient beings, the rest of the sentient beings, animals. We can see, I don't know if any of you have seen any thing that goes in the slaughterhouses. We usually see that delicious food in your plate. You don't see the process of that food from an animal living in the green grass, trying to protect themselves every moment. Did you notice how the animal live? Keep flying, trying to fly away the flies with their ears, try to protect themselves from flies with their tails. You can see every sentient being, how much they love their life. The life of any sentient beings is equally precious to them like ourselves. But we humans do not respect any of them. From those living poor cattle in the farm, maybe yesterday living in peace in the farm, today it becomes steak in our plates. If you see that journey from animal to the steak, perhaps you will never eat that anymore. Because you see the pain and the suffering that animal goes through. Not only those big animals, even the fish. If you see somebody fishing, when they hook on a little fish, you'll see how much the little fish struggle for their life. You see the pain and suffering they go through. They all equally love peace and happiness, and they have a right to live their life. But we humans do not respect any of them. By doing this, now we see even the little planet we live on is going through a hard time. The global warming, the natural disasters we have been witnessing for the last few decades. And this will go never better. It will go worse and worse and worse because we are just tearing apart. So, now, by saying this, I'm trying to prove how important it is to respect not just diversity in the human society, but even rest of the lives, sentient beings, even the Mother Earth, the environment. Especially I like to meet the younger generation, upcoming children, because this is your world. Younger generations, youngsters, if this world remains better, you will enjoy. But if this world, this planet suffers, you have to face suffering because you are the future. Therefore, as a single person, individual, I try my portion, my part, to share my words, my understandings, and also always remain ready to learn from No one is perfect. I do not claim I'm perfect. What I'm saying is best of my, but I could be wrong. If someone shares a different idea, different logic, different scientific knowledge, we are always ready to accept and learn from. So, and at the same time, interfaith, again, I think actually I have gone through this topic a little bit earlier, but again, now those days, because you only know your neighborhood, and your neighborhood has a religion introduced, and you believe on that, okay, this is only Allah, okay, only Allah, nothing else. That's fine for them. And there are so many good things also with this Allah. So that helped, that worked. Now another community over there, there's only God, nothing else. Okay, that worked. That worked. There are so many good things with this God. That worked, that was fine. Another community, only Bhagwan, nothing else. Okay, fine. That helped. That was good. Now, these days, in a small community, you all have to come together. In one room, I think all these 4 or 5 beliefs come together. Then you say, only Allah, only Bhagwan, only God. How could they work? How could 5 onlys? Only means only. How could be 5 onlys or 4 onlys? There's no way to, if they're holding on like this, and so this is the time to learn more, to be more open, to come to the reality, to put off the hat of the extreme beliefs and come into the practical values of the life. Then only we can truly make peace. Then only we can truly love one another. Beliefs are good, but now it is time to come to a dialogue, conversation, share one another's belief, and at least to come into those many common good things. Those things that are little different from one another may not so important. So another thing is, to my understanding is, belief, to my understanding, in common, belief itself is not important to me, because you only believe when you are not sure. When you know, you don't need to believe because you know it. When you say, I believe, that means you're not sure. Then why is it so important to stick on something that you don't really know, you are not sure? So, this is my understanding. The good thing is, come into practicality, understand each and every human being. Any religion, any color, any race, any language, everyone deserves peace and happiness like myself. If I enjoy, everyone smile at me. And similarly, each and every individual enjoys a smile from everyone. So why you hold on differences? The common thing to everyone is love and peace. So if you know that when people smile at you, you like it, you enjoy it, give smile to others. And you will receive more smiles from. So to give and receive smiles, you have to come it from within, genuinely, not fake. Smile is not that just telling off your. This is not smile, right? Smile has to come from within. That's not a smile. His Holiness, I have seen His Holiness Dalai Lama saying in one of his interviews, he said, sometimes some smiles are terrifying. Which means the fake smiles people give. There are something poisonous going in within, but then you're still trying to do this, which is not really smile. So smile has to come from within, peace. And peace is a very simple word to say, but very difficult to realize and practice in, because peace, to bring peace, to make peace requires genuine love and compassion, tolerance and forgiveness. And those things are very precious, but not easy to practice, but never impossible. I want to share a little bit of my story. I was saying this morning over there and morning talk. I remember when I was 2, when the Chinese troop poured into my village. From that day on, I have seen so many bloodsheds from the childhood. We grew up with so much hatred and anger against Chinese military, Chinese occupation. When we came to India, at the age of 13, I went to the military headquarters. I thought now I am able to pick up a gun and sure fight back. I went, me and another 6 more boys, we were 7 boys. We ran out of our village. We walked in the mountains, in the woods, for more than a week. Finally, we approached to the military camp, military headquarters, to join to the military. From among 7 of us, they only picked up 1 boy who was 16. I was 13. And so we were just left crying on the ground and sent back. But as time passes, somehow, in 1972, I hear His Holiness Dalai Lama speaking, and that changed my life. From there on, 1972, I hear from His Holiness. 73, I joined the monastery. I studied Dharma, Buddhism. And it didn't take so long. I have no anger, no hatred, not even a little difficulty with Chinese. This is the power of compassion. That is the outcome of practice of love and compassion, tolerance and forgiveness. These things are not easy, definitely, but if you keep trying, not impossible. Changes come through. So, thank you.